Friends, it's an honor to be here addressing you today on this historic occasion. And there's many things that I'd like to talk about in light of all the things that have happened in Orlando, in light of the fact that we have a demagogue that wants to construct a wall to divide us from our neighbors, from our friends to the south. But I'll leave you with this. A very simple message, and that as Texans, as people, citizens of this country, we must consider the damage that this demagogue can do to us. We must consider that as a party, we have put Texas families first. We must consider that today, the Republican Party has put politics in front of sound policy for our families. We must consider that the Texas Democratic Party now stands as the only body, as the only force, as the only members of our community that look out for each and every Texas family, whether they believe in our values or not. And that to me is something to be proud of. That's something that each and every one of you should be proud of. And as you participate and continue participating in this convention, remember this, that our party will always put you first. It will put each and every Texas family first. And I congratulate you one more time on your participation in this, our most historic convention, this, our most historic election. And I urge you to remember as you go to the polls, as you encourage your family members, your neighbors to go to the polls, that you remember that our values, that our ideas, that our policies are before politics. They're about our country and our state. Thank you very much. Before I leave the dais, there's one more thing I'd like to do, folks, is I'd like to introduce some friends of mine, some colleagues from our House delegation. And we have with us today Mr. Elliot Neistat, all the way from New York City, but represents Austin, Texas. We have Ms. Carol Alvarado from Houston, Texas. We have Mr. Richard Pena Raymond from Laredo, Texas. We have Mr. Roberto Alonso from Dallas, Texas. And we have Mr. Ramon Romero from Tarrant County, Fort Worth, Texas. Please give him a big round of applause.
Hi, it's great to see all of you. Did he mention that I'm from New York? I heard a couple of boos. So I have served for 25 years in the Texas House of Representatives. And I've decided, because I've gotten old and tired, that I'm not seeking re-election. But you've all met or heard Gina Hinojosa, who's going to be terrific. But I'm from New York, and what I want to convey to you is that if you work hard and commit yourself, that Democrats can get elected. It takes a lot of work. But let me just tell you that it was especially hard for me because I'm not a real Texan. I wasn't born here and didn't come by choice. So real briefly, when I finished college in New York in the late 60s, I signed up for the Domestic Peace Corps, VISTA, Volunteers in Service to America. And the people in Washington said, we would love to have you serve in Lyndon Johnson's war on poverty. And because you're from a big city, New York will send you to a VISTA project in a big city. And they promised me an assignment in San Francisco. And I went, yes. But you know the government. They lied. And they sent me to Eagle Pass. Pancho Nevarez and I, we comprise the House of Representatives Eagle Pass Caucus. If I could come from New York City, a Yankee, an outside agitator, an ex domestic Peace Corps volunteer, and by working hard and being involved and staying involved, end up in the Texas House of Representatives and serving for 25 years. You all can do that. I promise you, you all can do that with hard work. Thank you for being Democrats. Stay involved.
My name is Roberto R. Alonso from Dallas. First, a big shout out to the people from my area, Dallas, Grand Prairie, Cockrell Hill, Irving, and Crystal City. Folks, I want to take a minute of my time to visit with you of how important Texas is. You know, a lot of times we hear, okay, we don't count. But let me tell you, I grew up as a farm worker, and we do count. Let me tell you what the connection is to winning President of the United States, Texas. Let me tell you why. 40 years ago, más o menos, Texas farm workers went to work in Colorado, Wisconsin, Ohio, and Iowa. And through the years, these Texas Mexican-American farm workers stayed there. And they had babies, and the babies had babies. 2012, everybody says if Barack Obama wins Colorado, Wisconsin, and Iowa, he was President of the United States. And you know why? Because of Texas farm workers that are there. If you go to Toledo, Ohio, my last name is Alonso. All the Alonsos from Toledo, Ohio are my first cousins. You go to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, my wife's Tío Beto Avila is there. And I know a lot of you have a lot of relatives in that area. So que no les digan que no contamos, porque sí contamos. We count. Texas helps select the President of the United States. Thank you very much. You're doing a great job. Hang in there.
Good afternoon. I'm Carol Alvarado from the great city of Houston. H-Town. You know, I don't know of a time when we've had two presidential candidates that are more opposite. You know, our candidate is probably the most qualified candidate to ever run for president. And the Republican candidate, well, he's demonstrated his leadership skills and education priorities with Trump University. Sorry. He has hijacked the Republican Party, but we cannot allow him to hijack what it means to be an American. There has been much said, and I know that some of my friends out there are carrying it, the woman card. And if carrying the woman card means caring about strengthening our economy, job growth, providing health care, then I'll take the woman card any day over the idiot card. Thank you. God bless you. Adelante con Hillary.
I know I'm a man, but deal me in. Let me say, I have to take a second to say we will miss Elliot Neistat. He's a wonderful, if you know Elliot, he's a wonderful human being and has been a tremendous public servant for the state of Texas. And if a guy who grew up in New York City can come to Eagle Pass and to Austin and get elected, a girl who grew up in Chicago and moved to Arkansas and then became a United States Senator from New York, can get elected President of the United States. I am Richard Pena Raymond, very proud to be the state representative for District 42 in Laredo. Please, Laredo, wave. And I'm equally proud to have been raised in Benavides, Texas, and Duval County. Duval County, where are you? Go Duval. We know how important it is to vote in Duval County. We're not worried about you all. We know you're going to vote. What's going to matter is all those people out there that have stayed home for some reason and not voted in years past. If they can't understand how important it is to vote this time, I don't know if they ever will. But it's up to all of us in this convention hall to get them engaged. We only have a couple of seconds, so I'm going to close up by saying this. We lost a great human being recently in Muhammad Ali, perhaps the greatest boxer in the history, and certainly one of the greatest people who ever lived. And I think if he were here in his prime, you know, I think he'd say something like, I think he'd say something. Now, hold on, Bernie people, hold on now, hold on. Hold on, Bernie people, hold on. If Muhammad Ali were here, I think he'd say, first of all, I think he'd say, Donald, that hairpiece you got so ugly make Howard Cosell look good. It's ugly. I think the second thing he'd say is, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Trump is a chump. Let's vote for Hillary. Yeah.
How about those Texas Democrats? Woo!
Thank you.